Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into a report from the research firm Virtualization Options LLC that tackles a huge question for any business leader. In a world that runs on data, what's accuracy really worth? And more to the point, how many nines of accuracy are you willing to pay for?
So, let's start with a question that should be keeping every executive up at night. Because the cost of bad data, well, it's not just some number on a report. It's a silent killer, quietly draining your resources, damaging your reputation, and hitting your bottom line where it hurts.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to quickly define what we're even talking about with data accuracy, and then look at the real costs when it goes wrong. After that, we'll get into that nines question to find the sweet spot, lay out a clear path to get better, and finally, show you exactly how to build a business case to make it all happen.
Okay, first things first, what do we actually mean by data accuracy? You know, it's so easy to think of it as just right or wrong, but the truth is, it's a lot more nuanced than that. According to the research, truly accurate data has to check 4 boxes. It's got to be precise, meaning it's free from errors. It has to be timely, so it's actually relevant for decisions you're making today. It needs to be complete, no huge gaps. And it absolutely must be consistent across all your different systems. You need all 4 of those for your data to tell you the truth about what's really going on.
So we've got our definition, but why should you care? Well, this is where a seemingly technical issue blows up into a massive business problem. This is the so what, the real-world impact of bad data on your bottom line. See, the problem with bad data is that it never stays in its lane. It causes a domino effect that ripples through your entire organization. We're talking direct financial hits, major disruptions to your daily operations, and sometimes a serious blow to the reputation you've spent years building. And those financial hits, they can be absolutely staggering. The research shows some companies might be missing out on as much as 30% of their potential revenue, all because of bad data. At the same time, your costs are swelling by up to 15%, and you could be spending millions, literally millions, every year just trying to fix the errors manually.
But honestly, the money might not even be the worst part. Think about your reputation. Every time you send a customer an incorrect bill, ship a product to the wrong address, or run a marketing campaign on flawed information, you chip away at their trust. And that kind of damage, that is so much harder to repair than a budget line item.
So, what do? Chasing perfect data sounds great, but we know it costs a fortune. This puts us right in the middle of a huge balancing act. How do you weigh perfection against the practical needs of your business? In the tech world, we often talk about reliability in terms of nines. You might have heard of 5 nines, which is 99.999% uptime. To put that in perspective, that allows for just 5 minutes and 15 seconds of downtime for an entire year. We can use that same idea for data accuracy to set really clear, powerful goals.
And this is the fundamental trade-off you have to make. On one hand, higher accuracy means fewer mistakes, way better decisions, and more trust from everyone. But on the other hand, getting there takes a huge investment in people, complex new processes, and advanced tools. The real secret is finding that sweet spot for your company.
Okay, that's the theory. Let's make this really tangible and look at an example from the report. Let's see what closing the accuracy gap can actually mean in dollars and cents.
All right, imagine your sales data is sitting at 95% accuracy right now. That sounds pretty good, right? B+, A- territory. But what it really means is that 1 out of every 20 records is wrong. Think about that. 1 in 20.
Now, the industry benchmark for high-quality data isn't 95%. It's way up at 99.5%. That's a huge jump. It takes your error rate from 1 in 20 all the way down to just 1 in 200.
So what's that little 4.5% gap actually worth? According to the model in the report, closing it could mean a whopping $500,000 in savings every single year. Now we're talking.
So how do you actually capture that $500,000? The good news is improving data accuracy isn't some mystical art. It's a strategic project, and you can break it down into clear, totally manageable steps.
The report gives us a really straightforward three-step framework. First, you assess. You've got to figure out where you are right now and find the biggest fires to put out. Second, you plan. You build a real strategy with clear, measurable goals. And finally, you implement. You actually execute that plan with better processes, the right tech, and training for your people.
Okay, so you've got a plan. But we all know plans need resources. So how do you get your board, your CEO, and the other executives to sign off on this? You've got to speak their language, and that means building a rock-solid business case.
And that business case all comes down to a clear return on investment. On one side of the ledger, you tally up all the costs of doing nothing, all the time wasted on cleansing data, the lost productivity, the revenue you're leaving on the table. And on the other side, you spell out the clear benefits of taking action: more efficiency, smarter decisions, better compliance, and way happier, more loyal customers.
And really, this quote from Virtualization Options LLC, the firm that did this research, just nails it. They say that accurate data is essential for making smart choices, running an efficient business, and building a strong reputation. It's not an IT issue, it's a core business strategy.
So we'll leave you with this one last thought to chew on. Your company's data is one of your most critical business assets, period. So the real question is, are you treating it that way? Are you managing it with the same discipline, the same rigor that you demand for your financial assets? Because in today's world, you really can't afford not to.